Here's a little primer on the stages of fascism in Limerick form. All Limericks, or mostly.
Aye, with the utmost gravity and a certain profane glee, let us unsheath this beast. Shall we? We shall. Here begins the epic cycle of Mr. Limerick, a primer for the perplexed and perilous times. Chapter the first, of gathering gloom and gobsmacking bliss, on ignoring the change in the wind. Hardy old lad, Mr. Limerick, once used his great knob for a derrick. He'd drink and he'd screw, with none a damned clue of the change in the state atmospheric. Then came a new group, Force Recall, who wished to enlighten us all. No gods, just the state. They'd preach at your gate, while scrolling thick screeds on the wall. Said Limerick, I've heard far worse pitches. They're just humorless sons of bitches, if it stops them from prayer. So they'll poke with more care. It might suit their most Puritan itches. His neighbor, one Finnegan Bryn, grew gaunt and distressingly thin. He'd stare at his shoes, report on the news, and forget how life should begin. So Limerick shrugged, tapped a fresh cask, and took on a more pleasant task. With the barkeep's dear wife, he debated on life, while hid from her husband by a mask. The first lesson, when the world grows grey, most folk seek solace in the nearest vibrant flesh or stead to stale. This is fine, but one ought to learn to foot with one eye open and an ear to the keyhole. Chapter the second, of soft boots and cactuses hard, unrecognizing malicious compliance as essential art. Then statues of poets came down, and smiling was banned in the town. Collective concern was a lesson to learn. Stops joy from becoming a crown. The men from Recall held a march, with banners of paper and starch. From his second floor flat, Limerick spat, quite deadpan, and then leaned on a windowsill arch. An unpotted cactus, oh dear, which sat at his elbow right here, took a terrible spill from that high windowsill and lanced a stout grey shirt's left ear. Mr. Limerick cried with a pout, my succulent's fallen clean out. You clumsy recruit! You've made bold its chief route. Now give me the sergeant's gun clout. The sergeant just squinted and scowled, as half of the soldiery howled. This fool couldn't be with the resistance, you see. So he filed his report, botany fouled. The second lesson, when naked defiance earns you a noose, clothed absurdity might just get you a nod. The right kind of stupid is a shield even the sharpest bayonet cannot pierce. Be the kind of stupid. Chapter the third, of pantry guests and fire-forged oaths. On when hospitality becomes a capital crime, but laughter soon fled from the street, replaced by the timing of feet. One knock at the door meant you'd not be seen more, and the rations had less and less meat, while boiling some scrawny fowl's neck. He heard a door slam and a shriek. 'Twas the fiddler, oh she, being hauled far away, for playing a tune filled with speck. Then that night came a tapping, 3 taps. The millers, a girl tween 2 chaps. They burned down our screeds for unsanctioned needs. Have you any food left, or scraps? Said Limerick, last scab and get in. Cast the ham hoxen into the bin. In his pantry they'd stay, eating oats for a day. A treasonous and life-saving sin. Then Limerick looked to his wall, where his grandfather's fowling piece sat, standing tall. That gun seems so grand, and they've taken the ban. 'Tis time that some tyrant should fall. The 3rd lesson, the door to your larder has 2 functions: to keep food in and to keep loved ones from being fed to the wolves. A man's right to stockpile pork is indistinguishable from his duty to shelter a friend. And know this, the time to hunt men is when they begin to outlaw joyful noises. Chapter the 4th, the fray that now frayeth forth, on strategic cowardice and the button under the foot. The fighting grew hotter than hell, and friend against foeman you'd tell, not by sight or by sound, but whose guts hit the ground with a fragrant and unfortunate smell. Got once at a checkpoint to check him. They sought any cost to just deck him. On his arms was a band, pure sway, close to hand. Meant surrender, sirs, please don't mistake him. My hands are held up, cried our hero. My courage is down to 0. I am full of great fright. Do forgive if I might. Just shift my damn foot. I'm near throw. And as he adjusted his shoes to accommodate these dolorous views, the street bucked and tore in a god-awful roar, lit by minds planted under the ooze. The detonators in the heel, he gasped, as all of his captors were comprehensively gassed and quite grasped. A lyrical misfire amidst detonations. He shook his head and recalibrated. My weight bend I raise, shouted Lim, as 4 grey shirts all stared at him, grim. I surrender my kit, while his left toe did it. The road split them limb from new limb. The 4th lesson, the postures of defeat can be weapons of victory. A raised hand can obscure the rock in the other. A cry of surrender can drown the click of a trigger. Learn the duplicity of the downtrodden. Master it. Chapter the 5th, of patient suppers and impatient ends. On the wisdom of knowing the difference. There are times you should eat without haste, not a morsel or calorie waste. So when boots march upstairs, you've no time for cheap prayers. Full of strength in the wall you're encased. And then comes the time to just wait, pressed breathless behind a new crate. While patrols thick with drink, pass your crevice and think that no man alive could share such a thin fate. But the safe house is breached, and it's done. You've no options to hide or to run. The grey shirts all shout that they'll soon root you out. Mr. Limerick grinned his last grin, tipped a half-pound of powder right in. his flask of old scotch, which went straight down the hatch. Awaiting his gut's final spin, they kicked down the door to procure their last breathing dissident pure. I'm right down the foul dram. I go out with a bam. No last words. My arse hole. Bonjour. And the very next shot which they made did not land where their generals bade. Through his gut, 'twas the spark. In that gunpowder dark, an explosive, impromptu parade. The fifth and final lesson, the primer concludes not on a strategy of how to live, but on the spectrum of choices you are left with. You are to be wise as the serpent in the woodpile, as patient as the stone in the stream, as quick as the striking fer-de-lance, and when all else has fled, as incandescently and outrageously final as a drunkard packed with greater black powder. Knowing which to be and when is the only liberty they cannot confiscate. A lyrical coda, a tyrant's slow creep, a soft heat, making plausible every deceit. You feel this is new, but tolerable too, till the front door clicks shut and you're meat. So mark the mad verse of Old Lem, who lived and then died on a whim. But at one gorgeous bang, from which liberty sprang, then a life that is silent and grim. There ends the cycle. Use it well. Read it aloud. Try not to fuck it up. Now go meet your future. Chin bloody eye, armed to the damn teeth. Oh, and don't look back. Whatever you do, keep walking forward. Do not halt. Keep moving. Now fly away. Go onward. In the worst of evenings, there comes a glint of light in the woods, an escape through that which contains them forever. Embrace the final spark and turn the page.